Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to dive into Scope to Scale
Scope to scale.
by Paul McGillivray.
Yeah.
He's a tech entrepreneur, helped over 200 businesses, I think something like that, transform using custom software. So get ready to learn how to leverage software for some serious business growth.
Yeah. It's like getting a crash course in tech-driven growth strategies, all distilled from his years of experience.
Exactly. And, in today's world, if you're not making tech work for you, you're probably falling behind.
Absolutely. The source really highlights the struggles that I think a lot of businesses face. Things like, drowning in manual data entry, inefficient workflows, lack of custom reporting.
Yeah.
These might seem like minor annoyances,
Right.
but they could really impact your bottom line.
It's like trying to win a race with your shoelaces tied together. You might get there eventually, but
I-
it's going to be a lot harder than it needs to be, right?
Exactly.
And McGillivray really argues that the right software can be a total game changer.
Yeah. And he's not talking about just small improvements either. He wants you to, envision a radical transformation of your business, what he calls your 10x vision.
I love that. So instead of just aiming to hire a bit faster, think about tapping into a global talent pool seamlessly.
Exactly. It's about thinking big and then figuring out the software solutions that can make that vision a reality.
Right.
And to track your progress, McGillivray suggests focusing on a few key metrics, like overall growth, right? Financial performance, think ROI, cash flow, and the Pareto principle.
Yes, and for those who haven't heard of it, the Pareto principle is the idea that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. So finding that crucial 20% can make a huge difference.
Huge. And that's where McGillivray's Scope E framework comes in. It's a 5-step roadmap designed to guide you through the process of implementing software effectively.
Love it. Okay, so let's break down these steps. We've got strategize, clarify, optimize, prototype, and execute.
And the first step, strategize. This is crucial. It's about identifying that 10x vision we talked about, right? What would fundamentally change your business for the better.
Yeah, he uses a really interesting example in the book. Instead of just trying to hire more efficiently, he challenges you to imagine tapping into a global talent pool seamlessly through remote work.
Right.
That's the kind of thinking that can really catapult a business forward.
Exactly. Without a bold vision, businesses risk stagnating.
Yeah.
And to measure progress, McGillivray highlights those key metrics: growth, financial performance like ROI, cash flow, and the Pareto principle, identifying the 20% of efforts yielding 80% of the results.
It's about working smarter and not harder.
Absolutely.
And that brings us to the second step, clarify.
This is where McGillivray introduces the idea of systems thinking. It's about understanding your business as a web of interconnected processes, not just isolated parts.
He uses a bicycle analogy, right? Each component impacts the whole.
Exactly. Just like changing gears on a bike can drastically change your speed and efficiency.
Right.
Even small changes to a business system can have a ripple effect.
So a tiny tweak in one area can lead to big improvements overall. That's fascinating. And within this system, McGillivray wants us to identify and address bottlenecks, or what he calls constraints.
He uses the theory of constraints, or TOC,
Okay.
and illustrates it with a courier service example. Imagine a company with a super efficient pickup and sorting process,
Okay.
but their delivery system is slow and unreliable.
Okay.
No matter how fast they sort, their output is limited by that delivery bottleneck.
It's like having a high-performance engine in a car with flat tires. You're not going to win any races that way.
Precisely. And that's the essence of TOC, identifying the weakest link in the chain and focusing your efforts on strengthening it.
So how do we actually go about finding those bottlenecks in our own businesses?
Well, McGillivray suggests something called journey mapping. Basically, you visually map out each step of your business processes. Imagine following a customer's journey from the moment they first interact with your business all the way to the final delivery of your product or service.
It's like creating a flowchart of your entire business from the customer's perspective.
Exactly. And what often happens is businesses discover hidden complexities, redundancies, points of friction that they weren't even aware of. It can be eye-opening.
Like holding up a mirror to your operations and finally seeing what's really going on.
Right. And once you have that clear picture, you can start identifying those critical points in your journey map where small changes can have the biggest impact. McGillivray calls these leverage points. For example, in a service-based business, a leverage point might be the client onboarding process, automating or streamlining that could drastically improve client satisfaction and retention.
It's about finding those small changes that can create huge ripple effects.
Right, and McGillivray also talks about feedback loops. both positive and negative ones. For example, if your company is consistently slow to respond to customer inquiries, you know that delay can lead to frustration, negative reviews, lost business. It can create this vicious cycle that's tough to break.
It's like a domino effect of negativity. But
Yeah.
the good news is, by identifying these loops early on, you can figure out how to either amplify the positive ones or break free from the negative ones.
Exactly. And that brings us to the third step in the scope framework. Optimize. This is where you design the ideal software solution to address the specific bottlenecks and leverage points you've identified in your business.
And McGillivray really goes deep here, exploring a whole range of solutions.
He talks about customer and team portals as these centralized hubs for information. Imagine a single source of truth for all your data. No more hunting through endless spreadsheets or emails. He also gets into workflow automation.
Yeah.
Imagine using simple if this then that logic to automate routine tasks.
So if a customer submits a support request, the software automatically notifies the right team. Or if an invoice is paid, the system updates the project status. It's about eliminating all those little manual tasks that can eat up your time.
Right, and then there's data visualization. McGillivray is a big proponent of tools like Kanban boards, Gantt charts, which give you this visual representation of complex data.
It's like having an X-ray view of your operations. You can instantly see where things are flowing smoothly and where the holdups are.
He also addresses the crucial issue of system integration. It's not just about building a standalone software solution. It's about connecting your accounting system, your CRM, your inventory management, and all the other tools you use, creating a truly unified ecosystem.
So everything is talking to each other, sharing data seamlessly, no more data silos.
Exactly, and McGillivray is a huge advocate for AI integration as well.
Right.
He sees immense potential in artificial intelligence, particularly large language models, or LLMs,
Right.
to revolutionize tasks like content creation and business analysis.
But I know some people hear AI and worry about their jobs being replaced.
Yeah, and McGillivray tackles that head on.
Yeah.
He emphasizes that AI is a tool, not a replacement. It's about leveraging the power of AI to free yourself and your team from tedious, repetitive tasks so you can focus on more strategic, creative, and human-centered work.
So it's not about AI taking your job. It's about AI making you better at your job.
Precisely. Now, once you've got a good picture of your ideal software solution, McGillivray emphasizes the importance of prototyping and testing. Before you go all in on building the whole thing, this is where the prototype step comes in.
He's a big believer in not jumping into the deep end without testing the waters first.
Right. He introduces the concept of a minimum viable product, or MVP.
MVP.
It's a functional version of your software with just the essential features needed to test your key assumptions and get valuable user feedback.
It's about validating your ideas before you invest a ton of time and money into building something that might not even work the way you thought it would.
Exactly. He shares a great anecdote about a client whose MVP evolved significantly after they started incorporating AI. It really highlights the importance of staying flexible and open to unexpected insights.
It's about being willing to adapt and change course based on what you learn along the way.
And this ties into McGillivray's love for the Agile development methodology. Agile is all about being iterative, collaborative, and flexible.
Right.
You're constantly testing, learning, and adapting.
So it's the opposite of that old school waterfall approach where you plan everything up front and then hope for the best.
Exactly. Agile is about embracing change and responding to feedback quickly. And McGillivray shares his own experiences with Agile at his software studio, Remote, explaining how it transformed their company culture and the projects they delivered.
They saw faster delivery times, reduced risks, and a higher overall quality. Not bad, right?
Not bad at all. But I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but how much is it going to cost?
Custom software can seem like a huge investment.
It can be, but McGillivray, he really stresses that it's important to look beyond that upfront cost and consider the long-term return on investment.
The ROI.
The ROI, exactly. And that ROI isn't just about dollars and cents.
Right. We're talking about things like time saved, increased capacity, fewer errors, happier customers.
Exactly. It's about creating a more efficient, scalable, and ultimately more profitable business. McGillivray actually gives a compelling example of a 7-person delivery team.
Oh.
Even a small increase in productivity per person, thanks to software automation, led to huge annual savings for the company.
So while the initial investment might seem steep, the long-term payoff can be significant.
Absolutely. But of course, finding the right development partner is key.
Speaking of which, McGillivray walks us through the different options, right? We've got off-the-shelf software, hiring in-house developers, working with a software agency, or partnering with a software studio.
He acknowledges that off-the-shelf software can be a good solution for some businesses,
Mhm.
particularly those with maybe simpler needs, tighter budgets.
Right.
But he also points out the limitations.
Right. You might not find a perfect fit for your specific business, and you're often locked into, their features and their pricing structure.
Exactly. And as your business grows, you might find yourself hitting a wall, unable to kind of customize or scale the software to meet your evolving needs.
So what about hiring in-house developers?
Yeah, McGillivray acknowledges this can be appealing, having that dedicated team under your roof.
Right, right.
But he also points out the challenges, particularly the cost and logistics of building and managing a development team.
It's not just about finding talented developers, it's about creating a whole engineering culture and managing payroll and benefits, all the HR complexities.
And let's not forget the competition for top tech talent. You might find yourself going head to head with, tech giants, which can be tough.
That brings us to software studios, which is the model McGillivray seems to favor.
Yeah, he highlights the benefits of this collaborative approach where you're working with a team that has specialized expertise, a proven process, and a focus on building long-term solutions.
It's like having an extension of your own team, but with the added benefit of their deep technical knowledge and experience.
Exactly, and he uses a great analogy. He says when you work with a studio, you're starting from one, not zero.
I like that.
You benefit from their existing momentum, their experience, their established processes.
So you can hit the ground running and focus on what you do best running your business while the studio handles the technical side of things.
Now, before we wrap up, I do want to circle back to something McGillivray emphasizes throughout the book, and that is the importance of purpose-driven growth.
He reminds us that true business success isn't just about making more money or selling more products.
Right.
It's about aligning your work with your values and making a positive impact on the world.
And he believes that technology can be a powerful tool for achieving that.
Okay.
By leveraging software to optimize your operations, you can free up time, resources, mental energy to focus on what truly matters.
So you can create a business that's not just successful, but also sustainable, fulfilling, and aligned with your values.
Exactly, and that's a powerful message to end on.
It really is. And if you're feeling inspired to explore the world of software for your business, don't forget to check out the show notes. We've got a link to a free resource guide that summarizes the scope framework, provides some key questions to ask when evaluating software solutions.
It's a great starting point for your software journey.
It really is. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into unlocking business growth with software. We'll see you next time for another exciting exploration of the ideas shaping our world.